Okay, now can you hear it? Okay, now can you hear it? There we go. Okay, now can you hear it? There we go. That's why you test. Why you test. Anyway, let's start that intro over. Hello everyone, hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to continue on with some Wachumeqimeqi deliveries. This time we're going to hopefully get through the mining/botanist quest line. One thing with this one is that I think it's a little bit longer. Yeah, I think it's got one extra quest. Nope, it's the same length as the other ones. Okay, let's not dilly-dally anymore. Go ahead and talk to our client over here, the Graying Gatherer. Okay, old man, what do you need your help? What do you need me to help you with? I'm not gonna do your job. Oh, okay, you got your, probably got your apprentices or something like that. The Graying Gatherer is eyeing you with an impressed look. Actually, let me go ahead and check on, let me just double check on the stream once more because I'm just paranoid like that. Once more because I'm just paranoid like that. Okay, that sounds okay. You're a woman who plucks the finest of the land's offerings with their hands, am I right? I mean, I guess. Aha! I knew it at the moment I set eyes upon you. Excuse me, sir? That's not the kind of compliment I want from an old man. I mean, what? I share the same passion. In fact, or at least I used to. For many happy years did I work in the employ of Shuni's apothecary, gathering only specimens of the utmost quality. Alas, such work wears on the body, and mine has about had its fill. Every day my knees and back make new cries of protest. So I have finally decided to leave this business to younger hands. Yeah, okay, we're gonna be training his apprentices or whatever. And yours look fit to succeed me, maybe even surpass me. Sir, I'm level 100 gatherer. I'm level 100 botanist, miner, and fisher. Except the fisher has a different quest line, so never mind. So yeah, I probably surpassed you. I reckon you'd fill my old position at Shuni's apothecary nicely. You will fill it, won't you? No, I got better things to do, like going and killing God and stuff. You know, normal JRPG stuff. I'd hate for Shuni to be left alone. To prop up such a bustling business. Consider the opportunity. I promise you'd be hard-pressed to find a better man to work for. I'm sure he's a great guy, but remember, I gotta go, like, go to other planets and, you know, other quest line stuff. In this world, nothing happens in this world if I don't do anything. I mean, you wouldn't, the blue quest marker above your head and never go away if I never talk to you. What blue quest marker? Nothing. You can find him at the far end of the marketplace. At least go and see what he's about, will you? I mean, I guess. Let's head on over there. He's at the end of the market? Yep, very end of the market. Look at you, Mr. Fisher guy. Is he a fish marker? Yeah, it's a fishmonger guy. There he is. Oh, well, he's a young man. I didn't realize that. So I guess the other person is going to be his, like, apprentice who is going to replace him. Well, we'll find out. Oh, hello there. Apologies for not noticing you. A merchant's work is endless, you see, and I find myself short-handed these days. Welcome to Shuni's apothecary, friend. Are you searching for something specific? Perhaps one of my displays caught your eye? No, not exactly. I'm curious what kind of drugs you got though. Oh no, that happens behind the happens in the back room. No, not that back room. I've seen that look before. You're wondering just what sort of shop this is. To put it simply, I purvey in goods which promote a healthy body and mind. Isn't that just like the juice person we dealt with last time? Herbs to cleanse mild ailments, increase incense to calm the senses, stones to massage aching shoulders, and much more, as you can see. Naturally, this requires the use of various plants and minerals, which possess uncommon, and some would even say mystical, properties, which I acquire from discerning and trusted gatherers. However, the flow of goods has recently slowed to a trickle, and I found it difficult to keep my shelves stocked. You may find my selection somewhat wanting, if I'm being honest. Well, actually, I'm kind of here to talk about that. So you must be the gatherer Ropley spoke of. Are you here to offer your services? I mean, temporarily maybe, but not indefinitely. Of course, I'm more than grateful for the help. I hope this is the start of a mutually pleasant relationship, Brilliant. I never even gave you my name. Or did Ropley give everyone my name? Ropley, please don't do that. Excuse me, but are you the proprietor of this shop? Is it true that you are of the Shitona? The Shitona tribe? I mean, he's got ears, so... Oh, okay, I thought this was a girl in the picture. I mean, sometimes you can't tell with the bun boys. So wait, are we gonna bun boy love? I mean, what? Yes, on both counts. What brings you to Shune's apothecary, friend? Oh no, I have to pronounce this. I am Uvlo Godju Esv. I hail from the village of Kuguma, located in the eastern continent of Orthothard. Oh, okay. Interesting. He's come a long way. I was traveling the three great continents in an effort to expand my horizons, when I learned of people similar to the Viera who live in Tyrol. I wished to learn all I could from them, so I boarded the first ship across the sea I could find. Once at port, I asked where I might find any Shitona, and was pointed here. Okay. Please, allow me to serve you. I can hunt, I can fight, I can gather. Surely one of my skills can be of use. All I ask in return is that you teach me of your people. Oh, he'll teach you more of just his people. What a day this has turned out to be. One moment desperate for help, the next spoiled for choice. Uvlo, was it? I know you've come far, and I can sense your sincerity, but my conversation doesn't fetch so high a price. Simply purchase one of my wares, and we can chat for as long as you like. Sir? I have no money. Yeah, I figured that's where I was going. Not even a single coin. I spent my very last one hiring a ship to bring me here. Ah, then I can't very well expect your custom, can I? Apologies for the interruption, Brilliant. Where were we? Ah, yes. Would you agree to a small test of your talents before we begin our work in earnest? Why don't you give him the test? He seems a lot more eager for this. I suppose I'll be testing you too. That is, of course, assuming you still wish to work with me. Okay, good. You're not just gonna brush the guy off. I mean, you were looking for someone to help you, so... Of course, I'm at your disposal. You only need to tell me what to do. Then your task is simple. Bring me goods that I can sell to eager customers. There's no better way to take stock of your talents. Alright, and this is get some decent Endwalker food. Of course, I don't really need it. The thing is, I only really use food for, like, crafting, because you need the food to succeed in the craft. But with gathering, you're a lot more lenient on this stuff. Shune's apothecary, Wachumeqimeqi deliveries unlocked. We now undertake deliveries with Shune's... Should I say yay? I'm gonna say yay. Shune's apothecary at Wachumeqimeqi. Speak to Chunier to learn more. So we got to see some handsome bun boys interacting. You seek work too? Well, I hope we can call each other partners in due time. I'd rather if you two called each other partner, but I mean, oh, nice. Oh, that's right. You get a bunch of, we're gonna get like 90 high cordials out of this whole quest line. That'll be nice. I mean, I have like 200 or 300 in my chocobo saddlebag, so it doesn't really matter. But these are, I mean, these are actually useful. Shune, test of talents. Shune is eager to put your skills to the test. Now, shall we get started? I want both of you to head to Urkopacha and bring me back an assortment of my most popular staples. Namely, I'm looking for maca, a plant which imparts unflagging flavor. Unflagging vigor. And springstone, which is used to warm the body and soothe aches in the muscles. You can bring me whichever is easier for you to gather. Either will sell just as quickly. Since this is only a trial, let's start with, say, 6 or so, just like the rest of them are going to end up being. 6 springstones from Urkopacha. Understood. I shall return with haste. And of course, they give you the choice of mining or botanist for this, so I'm just gonna try doing all these as botanist, just because I like my glam for botanist a little bit more than the one for miner. You may now undertake deliveries to Shune's apothecary by delivering the requested items to Shune and raising yourself into steam. You can help restock items in empty shelves. They don't look very empty to me, but okay. Items with higher collectability result in greater reward. Yeah. We'll always get max collectability and stuff. Let's head on out to Urkopacha then. So this is, I recall when I was doing the Endwalker ones, the Studium deliveries. These are easy, but the fact that you have to like go run around and get the stuff ends up making it take a little bit longer. Alright, looks like I gotta head all the way over here. And we'll collect 6 of them. Now the question is, oh, this is actually interesting. I don't think this is how the Endwalker ones were. Yeah, I think the Endwalker ones just showed you had to go into your gathering log and they were like actual items for you to collect. But it appears that they don't show up here. Yeah, because the Endwalker ones had like the Uruk Clay and Elpis Staple was one of them for sure. Because it was the anthropology one. I think that was the one with the female here and the male Ara ended up like getting engaged by the end of it, which is a little awkward, you know, with their geometry and stuff. Okay, yeah, here's the staple. So this isn't actually in the gathering log, and we're at a blue point. And these are level 95 points. So yeah, they don't actually show up in here. Unless they are under side quests for some reason. No, that's Splendor's tools and stuff. I mean, I did Skysteel tools so long ago, I forgot that it even shows up there. Okay, let's go ahead and collect 6 of these. Okay, yeah, the fact that you only need to get to 600 collectability makes this really easy. Oops, I didn't need to double that. Okay, let's go ahead and collect these. Oh, right, I forgot to fix my macro. Hold on. I moved a bunch of stuff over to, my shared macros, because they're all things that I would, use on all my characters. Because I have a macro that does ageless words, and then also if it'll try and do the proc, the whatever the heck it's called, so that I don't have to remember to press 2 buttons. Okay, so that gets us 5, I think. Yeah, so we'll get an easy, we'll get 1 more. Yeah, the one right over here. And we'll head on back. Yeah, this is definitely very easy. Of course, I just realized I didn't save any GP for this one, but that's fine. I only need to get 1 of them. There we go. Yes, that's 6. Just grab some earth crystals because I don't need either one. Actually, I could use eucalyptus, but anyway, let's go ahead and teleport back to Tuliolol. And turn in these 6 deliveries. Now, I did already clear out my purple gatherer scripts, so hopefully I won't have to empty those out later. Although I think they end up giving you more than 2,000 anyway. Or 2,000? I remember when the cap used to be 2,000. That was so annoying. You literally couldn't finish a bonus custom delivery in one go. You'd have to go and turn in your scripts. Alright, Shuni. I've got their stuff. You can find the staples I require in Urkopacha. Either the Maca or Springstones will suffice. Bring me whichever one is easier for you to acquire. I did grab the right thing, right? Oh yeah, I did. Okay. For a second I thought I hadn't grabbed the right thing because I didn't say, because it said 0 of 6 here. Alright, good 900 scripts. I don't even know what to spend the purple scripts on. I don't remember. Oh no, I was spending them on high cordials. That's right. Because I don't need any of the materia, because I didn't show this, but I finished pentamelting all of my gatherer gear, and the only thing left is to work on my weapon, which I'm planning on trying to do the splendorous tools and the artifact tools for this expansion. Because I just went and did indicator tools in Endwalker, and I didn't really want to craft those. I wanted to actually engage. I wanted to try out cosmic exploration, and I'm really enjoying it so far. But so far, I've only done like the first week. I've only done this of a couple days this week, so I've only gotten like up to the level 70 tool on one of my crafters. Anyway, that's not what we're doing right now. Let's continue with this quest line. That was quicker than I expected. Let's see. Oh my, this delivery is better than I could have imagined. Almost too good, in fact. My customers might come to take such quality for granted. Thank you for your hard work. It's always comforting to see my shelves stocked. Again, your shelves seem perfectly stocked to me. In making your first successful delivery, you've begun to earn Shune's trust. Deliver the items Shune needs, and deliver them often to improve prospect. Yeah. I mean, they always write that out as if you're going to, like, do this in multiple goes, and not just do all 6 at one time. Those light rays don't look very good. Or they call them god rays, I think. I must say, there's no greater reassurance than knowing I have wares to sell. Even though this was only a trial run, you conducted yourself flawlessly. Well, let's see how the other guy does. I expect him to not do too well. Truth be told, when I first began this endeavor, I didn't imagine I would sell such a wide array of goods. But health is a goal we all share, and there are any number of ways to pursue it. Just like juice. Take maca, for instance. It thrives in the harsh climes of Urkopacha, accumulating nutrients from its unique environment. It has been a favorite since time immemorial, for its nutritional value and invigorating properties. Springstone, on the other hand, is a type of volcanic rock. It retains heat rather well, so after a bit of polishing and warming, you can place it in your pocket or directly on your skin. Even in hotter regions, it's used to relieve stiff muscles and troublesome aches. I know you came to me seeking gainful employment. Well, not really, but okay. But you must find your own health first and foremost. But you must place your own health first and foremost. If anything ever ails you, I would welcome your custom with open arms. So where's the other guy? Speaking of which, you haven't seen Uvlo, have you? I hope he hasn't gotten lost. Judging by his story, he arrived in Troll only shortly before visiting my shop. His confident stride suggested he knew where he was going, but how could he? Interesting point. I hadn't thought about that. I am returned, Master Shuni. I hope my deliveries meet with your satisfaction. Well, I suppose there was no need to worry. Yes, these are goods. They'll certainly sell. Forgive my imposition. Have you been to Troll before? Or did you hire someone to guide you? Neither. This is my first time in Troll, and I have no money for a guide. Yet this city is home to a great many people. If you ask around for information, you can piece together any puzzle in time. That is, of course, if you have the patience to do so. Interesting, okay. Does this mean you've reached a decision regarding my employment? Indeed. You did well today. So, for the time being, I have no objections to continuing our business relationship. And just business relationship. And of course, I'd like to continue working with you as well, Brillian. However, I understand you aren't the type to stay in one place over long. Well, yeah, that's why you're gonna have to get this guy to be your main person. Let's keep it simple, shall we? Stop by whenever you have time for a few tasks, and I shall recompense you accordingly. Sounds good. Then it's settled. Don't be a stranger, Brillian. Brillian, forgive my rudeness for not introducing myself sooner. I'm Uvlo of Kuguma Village. Kuguma Village. I look forward to working with a fellow Vieira. Again, they've had quite a few of these different dialogue options. Usually on the rest of these in the Wachumeqimeqi deliveries, they've been changing depending on what class you were. But usually you just get like him or her or he or she as the different things. But this time it's actually for the particular race. And I hope to learn much from your experience. Just as I hope to learn about the Shitona from you, Master Shuni. May we all prosper under your tutelage. Yeah, I bet he like left his tribe or something. Well, I may prove to be a worthless teacher in that regard, but I suppose I can try. As for our mutual prosperity, that depends on us. Stoic head turn. That is to say, we need to get selling. My customers will be pleased to see my stocks replenished at last. Alright, let's get those high cordials. Obviously, I don't need the experience. Esteem level increased. Shuni now considers you a greenhorn gatherer. Shuni is pleased with your efforts. He now considers you a greenhorn gatherer. Yep. Alright, Uvo, looks like you're messing up the stock. Master Shuni has been more than accommodating, and I would repay his kindness with honest labor. I've worked almost every job under the sun during my travels, so I shall be here for whatever he needs. And I mean whatever he needs. Right, Shuni? A discerning eye. Shuni is ready to begin a new day of peddling wellness. Good day, Brillian. Are you here for more work? I could certainly use the help. Thank you. Having another deft hand at my disposal will speed things along. How is Uflo getting along? Has Uflo adjusted to life in Tuliolol? He's doing quite well, all things considered. The only hurdle to speak of has been his complete lack of funds. He couldn't even afford to lodge himself, so I offered my bed instead. I mean, what? He assured me that he has no qualms sleeping under the stars, but I can't very well have my employee camping in the wilds like common vagabonds. Excuse me, what's wrong with that? In the end, Yep, I said it as a joke. In the end, I invited him to live with me. I think we all see where this is going. He may not always think ahead, but it's plain that in all other respects, he's quite thorough. He's neat and organized. He's never once been late, and is ever quick to ask questions when something confounds him. I suppose this is a natural consequence of his upbringing. He said he never lacked for mentors growing up. A much different life than the one I led. The men of my people spend much of their time alone, and as a result, many of us develop habits more lax than not, myself included. Even so, I find his scrupulous attitude refreshing. As well as that backside. I mean, what? Maybe a little bit of that what? Is there work to be done? Just so, Uvlo. If you're finished taking stock, I would ask that you accompany Brillian to gather a few more things to sell. Of course, working with someone more experienced than myself is always a pleasure. Good, good. Today will be very similar to last time. I want you to bring me more of my popular products, namely, those that benefit the soul. I'm not going down to the ethereal sea again. Firstly, cuttings from a fragrant tree that is said to purify the body of toxins. Secondly, a type of amethyst that's treasured in Yog Troll for its purported ability to calm troubled spirits. While usage of these items differs slightly depending on the customer's cultural practices, they are generally thought to ward off evil humors accumulated in the mind, body, and soul. So does juice. Fascinating. Wood and stones. I thought health to the realm of medicine and alchemy. No, that's for the alchemy quests. It makes me wonder what hidden powers the objects arrayed here might possess. Of course, I only sell products of proven repute, but even that is no guarantee that an item which positively affects one person will do the same for another. Some even purchase goods based solely on the fact that they are pleasing to the eye. Salves take many forms, as I've learned. That explains the sheer variety. Do you travel the continent in search of new goods? No. Not quite. I depend on gatherers such as yourselves mostly. That and a handful of trusted merchants. I dare not to leave the shop unattended for long, you see, and, well, I have my reasons for not often venturing beyond the city gates. Enough of that, yes? There's work to be done. You can find what I need in the northern region of Wachumeqimeqi. As always, the higher the quality of your delivery, the better your reward shall be. I would like to test my hand at collecting both, Brillian. I hardly suspect you require any practice, so I trust you will decide which task better suits your skills. Considering I'm equipped as a botanist, I'm probably going to do the botanist ones. Alright. Let's head on out to Wachumeqimeqi. Let's see, it said the northern region, which makes sense because this is still the early quests, when you would normally only have the first two. So let's head on out there. There's like the trees are right there in the northern area, like they said. I wonder if I can get all 6 collectibles this time, in one go. Because last time I accidentally wasted some GP. I mean, it's not like it matters since they put them in clumps of 2. Okay, mature tree. There's the apothecary's supply staple. Let's go ahead and not waste my GP again. Of course, it's gonna give me that. Okay, there we go. Nice, it didn't actually use any things, so I should be able to get all 6 this time. Yeah, I'm guaranteed all 6 this time, because even if I don't get the Eureka moment proc, I'll still be able to get at least 2 extras. just from the Ageless Wonders. Okay, that's 4, 5, and 6. Very nice. Let's teleport on back. These are definitely going to be going a little bit faster than the crafter ones, because the crafter ones just plain take time to do the actual crafts. This one I just run up there and get like 4 to 6 per node, so it's really easy. Alright, Chuni, got all 6 of these. Wares which cater to our spiritual needs are popular amongst customers old and new. I would have you gather the finest of them from Kazuma Uka. Yep, I got all 6 of them right here. This tournament looks like there's another. I think the last one was 990. No, it wasn't. It was less, obviously. It had to have been less because I have under 990 here. You leave me speechless once again. I'm almost afraid to examine your delivery for fear of tarnishing its beauty. I shall have to maintain a delicate touch. I don't know how you turn the green sack into a brown one, but okay. This is more than suitable. Good work, Brillian. You're quite good at this, I must admit. How many hours do you reckon you've spent searching for Earth's finest bounties? Well, I don't have a timer, but I've spent quite a lot of time in the diadem. I am returned. Wood cuttings and amethysts. I hope they are up to your discerning standards. Welcome back, Uvlo. Let's have a look. Oh my. Well, I can certainly sell the wood cuttings as they are, but these amethysts, they're almost flawless. Where did you find such a rich vein? I'm something of an expert in the subject of minerals, you see. I happen to be something of an expert myself. I hail from the snow-capped mountains of the Skate Range, where we have naught but rock and snow to gaze upon. To the untrained eye, one stone is much the same as another, but somehow singular essences, which we have learned to identify. My people believe these to be the souls of our forebears, returned to their ancestral home, and we carry them on our person as a form of protection. Interesting, okay. The Skate Range? I've never been, but your words paint a picture well enough. Few in my own continent have traveled so far, to say nothing of travelers from Thrall. Do you have a map, Brillian? I believe it would do Master Shuni well to be, if we consulted it. I guess, or maybe just so we can show the player. Yeah, that's a region that we haven't actually been to, unless that's where a place you go in during Bosja. I forget where you actually go during. I thought that's in Ilsabard. Because I've only done the very beginning of Bosja. Here, the Skate Range. About to say, wait, 3 great continents? I guess Othard is considered the other great continent. Then, like, what the heck is Ilsabard? I consider, like, isn't this just one big continent here? Anyway. Dominating central Othard, the mountains mark the border between the Burn and the former kingdom of Dalmasca. Oh, right, that's where, I think that's where Bosja takes place. I honestly don't remember. My clan is known as the Vina Viera. Oh yes, I'm very familiar with that. And their settlements can be found in and around the Skate Range. Huguma, my village, is among them. As is common with other Viera clans, the women oversee day-to-day life in Kuguma, while the men dwell outside its gates as protectors. The land is harsh and unforgiving, but the knowledge of our ancestors teaches us how to hunt when prey is scarce, and forage when frost kills all but the hardiest plants. In this way, we lived until the Garlean Empire rose like a blight upon the earth. Although we were never threatened by them directly, the nations we called neighbors fell one by one to their ambition. Our elders decided to cut off all contact with the outside world, and that's why we didn't get Vieras until Shadowbringers. But as time went on, more and more came to realize that such extreme measures were untenable. And so, some years back, it was decided that one amongst us would journey into the outside world to gather the most precious resource of all, knowledge. They must grasp the complex workings of the larger world, attuning themselves to the pulse of modern life until it beats with their own. Then they must return to the village and teach all they've learned. So was he one of those people, but then now they've kind of since Garlemald is gone, for the most part, as it was, he doesn't have as much of a use anymore? And you are this person, I take it? My family, Wachumeqimeqi, means cloud, and like a cloud, I drift from land to land, eventually returning to my home to provide the nourishing rain of knowledge to my people. I see. That's why you were so eager to learn of the Shatona. From their way of life, I hope to extract valuable nuggets of wisdom that will help my own people. When I heard of the Shatona, I imagined how we Viera would live across the sea. How would our long lives play out in a different environment? What sort of society would we build? People so far apart, but so similar. I had to see for myself how you fared. I apologize for speaking so long. Thank you for lending us your map, Brillian. I can tell you care deeply for your people. You bear a heavy responsibility, and let's go with the first one. Friendship is magic. Wait, that's trademark. They are my family. Although my path is not an easy one, I would climb even the sheerest cliff for their sakes. What are you, a goat? I thought you were a rabbit. You really would, wouldn't you? Never mind that. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Uvlo. And thank you both for a job well done. I look forward to hiring your services again, Brillian. Alright, another 30 cordial. High cordial. Esteem level increased. Shunei now considers you a great gatherer. Well, I already was beforehand. Shunei is delighted with your efforts. He now considers you a great gatherer. Alright, talk to Uvlo again and then start the next one. I return home immediately if I learn aught that may pose a danger to my people. Otherwise, I return every other winter to share the knowledge I have acquired in my travels. My village cannot be reached by established land or air routes, nor can we rely on the Ethernet. Returning there is trying and expensive journey in and of itself, during which I cannot fulfill my duty. Interesting. Alright, Shuni, let's start the next one. As nature intends. Shuni seems pleased with the brisk business of his apothecary. It's good to see you, Brillian. Come to see how business is doing. Actually, no, I just want the next quest. I have finished my work. If you require Brillian's aid, then allow me to help. Of course. I'm grateful to have such an eager worker in my employ, but I must remind you to rest. Even you have a limit, surely. My masters trained me well for my role. An endless journey requires endless vitality, and I was prepared to endure such a trial. Well, I've no reason to mistrust your judgment, but I know how tiring a long journey can be, so don't hesitate to take a constitutional at your leisure. That's a weird way of saying that, but okay. You do? I thought you rarely ventured past the city's gates. Aha, calling him out. Oh, you seem busy. Should I return later? Who's this gonna be? Oh my. Hello, madam. Also, she got the red hair. Probably someone from his tribe. Upiata, welcome. Feel free to browse my wares. My employees here shall be glad to help you with anything you might require. Employees? You hired more? 2 more? Is this the Bun Brigade? I hoped against hope that you'd quit this foolish distraction after that old codger retired. Ah, I see. His family doesn't like this. And you can see from his face, yeah, he's doing this because he wants to, against his family's wishes. Just how many moons do you intend to stay cooped up in this city, playing shopkeeper like a child? I retract my oh my, madam. If there's anything you wish to order, simply say the word. That is why you're here, isn't it? You never did listen. Fine. If you insist on keeping this up, then I could use cleansing supplies for the household. You know where to make your delivery. Probably his sister or his mother. No, it's not his mother because you would have said mom or something like that. Yeah, my sister. That was my sister. Born to a different mother, but my sister all the same. As a Vieira, perhaps you have similar relationships yourself. No, but judging by the fact that he said another mother, they're in the lore, the Vieira, at least the Vieira and the Vis in the first, have very few males. So it does not surprise me that there are lots of half siblings, like where the male has multiple, like ends up having kids with multiple women, basically, and like. Obviously, in our culture, that's like weird. But think about if there's very few of one side, then it like that makes sense, and it would be like your population would literally die out if you didn't do that. But no, I haven't had a similar experience like that. The gender of my people becomes apparent as we grow. The large majority are women, with men being somewhat a rarity. Yeah, that's what I just explained. Thus, we generally do not marry a single partner, as is common with other people. Most of us have siblings from different... Yeah, that's literally what I just explained. But regardless of blood, a customer is a customer, and her order must be fulfilled. I'm guessing that they're mad at him because he doesn't go and take brides or whatever to have more children. That wouldn't surprise me if that's something like that. A delivery of supplies that our people use to cleanse their homes in the midst of bustling cities. Sprigs of Saka sage and purifying water are from Werpepi. I'm completely out of both, so I'm tasking you with journeying to Shaloni and gathering whichever best suits your skills. Well, again, I'm a botanist, so... I shall go too, and bring back what Brilliant cannot. And so what, now is he gonna have a boyfriend and they're gonna be even more confused? Anyway, let's head out to Shaloni. What do you mean you've been taken by a male bun? Yeah, okay, where are we doing? Okay, right over there. Let's head on over. Yeah, I don't remember if Endwalker had the orange circles or not. I mean, I did that somewhat no, I did this one like over a year ago, so I don't remember it at all. Because I did a couple of them. I know I did the fishing one and the culinarian / alchemist one and whatever the one that archaeology was. It took me a long time to actually get to them. Because I didn't end up making videos of them because I accidentally started the first step off stream and then I'm like, yeah, I don't want to figure all this out. So I just didn't do them on stream. Alright, looks like we need to get the household cleaning supplies. Let's go ahead and see if we can get it all in one node. Oh yeah. Nice. That's a guarantee to be one node. I don't even need to get a eureka moment for this. Okay, so that was 2. And that should be 6. Nice. Yep, that's all 6. Let's teleport on back. The story is interesting so far. We're getting a good bit of the Bun lore, which is interesting because the only other place that we've developed it is in like Bosja. I think there was like one other quest line that talked about it, but it's interesting that this is just so dedicated to it. All right, Shuni, we're just gonna ignore your troubles at home. Apologies about my sister's less than friendly attitude. Nevertheless, she has made an order, and it's our duty to fulfill it. Yep, and here's all the supplies. Let's see, so... yeah, so I still have enough for at least one more quest, but I'm going to be cutting it pretty close. Excellent work, Brilliant. Although I shouldn't be surprised to see you're finally learning. I admit, I'm half tempted to keep this delivery for myself, but alas, Uflo should return soon, and then we can get everything together to send to my sister. Everything seems to be in order, and all to my standards. Thank you both once again. You say these cleanse your homes. How exactly? Do they keep insects away, or perhaps they keep the forest clean? Indeed, they do serve such purposes, but more importantly, they're essential in upholding the Shatona customs, the ones that I don't uphold. Even amongst those of us living in cities, keeping in harmony with nature is of the utmost importance. All things breathe the energy of life, the earth and sea, the rivers and forest, the rain, wind, and sun. Every animal that walks, swims, and flies is beholden to this energy. By attuning ourselves to this flow and availing ourselves of this blessing, we become a part of it, and thus a part of every living thing under the heavens. And so, when we choose a place to live, we do our best to keep things as they are. We fell trees only when absolutely necessary, or else live in the natural shelter of caves. Some of our small settlements even make use of buildings abandoned by other peoples. Of course, the Shona are no monolith, and since the Dawn Servant unified Tyrol, many have come to hold different values to their ancestors. Nowadays, Shatona are not an uncommon sight, even in a metropolis like Tuliolol. Some even consider embracing change to be part of nature's flow. Interesting, okay. However, no small number of city-dwelling Shatona feel an almost unbearable sense of suffocation when inside cramped buildings. I see. I suppose these supplies are a way of allowing nature's blessing into your homes and maintaining your connection to its cycle. Exactly. Saka sage is native to the wilderness of Shaloni, and is purported to be closely linked to the greater power flowing around us, which lends its potent cleansing properties. Wachumeqimeqi feeds into several bodies of water, like Tori amongst them. Such waters pass through countless valleys and under vast reaches of sky, and connects us to the unfathomable journey. Uapyota lived near those waters for some time, in fact. After her children set off on their own journeys, she settled down into Lulal with a new family, but she still maintains a strong connection to the natural energies she was once surrounded by. So we'd best not keep her waiting, eh? I would go myself, but I've had enough of her scoldings for one day. Could you go in my stead, Brillian? You can expect a satisfactory reward for your troubles, I promise. I mean, if she wasn't such a jerk to you, I'd be more than happy. Oh, okay, that's all there is to it. Okay, so that was the level 95 quest. Let's see, so we got 3 more to go. Esteem level increase, should I consider Gifted Gatherer. Tony's overjoyed with your efforts, see now considers a Gifted Gatherer. New quests, creating stories, opportunities, apothecaries, now available upon completion. The Wachumeqimeqi Deliveries list will be updated. Yep. Talk to Uvlo and then Shuni. Yeah, clearly that's how you ended the last one. The cycle of life. Yeah, this is one of this is going to be the interlude one that the kind of thing that they've been doing for each one of these delivery quests. Really, all the delivery quests where they do a interlude section and then on the last one, in the middle and at the end. Okay. The cycle of life. Shuni's special delivery is ready for an adventurous pair of hands. I finished putting together Uapyota's delivery. Please be careful with it. She lives in the Resplendent Quarter. Here, I've marked it on your map. Master Shuni, I would go along with Brillian, with your permission. Consider it a diversion from my work. You have been urging me to take time to relax after all. You have a strange idea of relaxation, but I see no reason to object. Very well. You both can deliver this package to my sister. Apologies for the imposition, Brillian. Let us depart at once. Okay, let's talk to Shuni first. I've realized my sister didn't make a very good first impression, well that's for sure. But I assure you, she's normally quite cheerful and compassionate. I'm sure she'll treat you with kindness. Well yeah, I'm a fellow bun. That isn't wasting their life away at a shop. I mean, what? Anyway, let's go and teleport up to the Resplendent Quarter. Let's see, what part is she at? Oh, okay, she's all the way over there. Okay. Yeah, all the way in the corner here. There's Uvlo. Here she is. Let us complete our task. Oh, you two. I saw you at my brother's shop, yes? I take it he asked you to deliver my order. Yep, here it is. Ever needed some more Bun Boy lore? Or, I guess just regular Bun lore. Yes, everything's here. I must say, these materials are These materials are of higher quality than I've come to expect. My brother had a good stroke of fortune with you two, it seems. Now we're gonna get her side of the story. But why he's her foolish brother. I apologize for my conduct before. It was unbecoming of me, and I hope to make amends. Well, you better go apologize to him, not us. But above all, please help my brother succeed in his endeavors. Ah, okay. Interesting. That's not how she was acting before. You appeared rather unsupportive earlier. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was under the impression you wished he would quit his shop and leave the city. Yeah, I think it was mainly because she didn't see how he could succeed and didn't want him to, like, be disappointed or whatever, or that normal story. Why? Surely life here is not so terrible a prospect. I thought there was something different about you, besides your pale skin. You don't hail from Troll, do you? Yeah, because the default, like, skin on the Vina or Viera is, like, most of the skin tones are very pale. Like, it took me a bit to find one that wasn't, like completely white like his skin. And had actually, like, some pink undertones. Would be interesting. I actually haven't checked, did they add a third one for the Viera? Or is it for the Shatona? Or do they still only have the original two? Like, can you make a tan skin bun now? Because I don't think... Oh, no, you definitely could. Never mind. I'm thinking... I just thought of some of the ones in the first. I'm sure there's at least one tan one there. I thought there was something different about you. You don't hail from Troll, do you? Well, neither do I. And neither do you, for that matter. My people value living in harmony with nature above all, and settle only where that harmony won't be disrupted. In small villages, usually. Also, that was another bonus piece of dialogue for being a Viera. They are built and maintained by our women. The men travel from village to village, fostering our bonds with one another. Our families are built upon the relationship between parent and child. When a child is born, their mother and father become inextricably bound to each other as well. And yet they also have polygamy. Interesting. Mothers live with their children until they become independent, while fathers continue to travel. As the seasons turn, the men visit their families in each village they pass through. Although their time together is fleeting, it's always precious. We talk until the small hours of the morning, sharing all that has happened since last we met. The fathers tell us how the other villages fare, and it makes our small settlement feel so much larger. So the men literally go around a different village having children. That's interesting. I mean, that's not the only thing they do, but... Although there is no one place we can point to as home of the Shatona, we are connected in this way like the roots of a great tree. Fascinating. We Viera lead such different lives. Yet even so, there are shades of similarity, yep. I take it Shune did not always live in Tuliolol then. What made you think that? He used to travel the land as well. The bond with his first family was formed in a small village to the north, among the tall mountains. Ah, I see, that's why she's mad at him. Yet not long after his departure one season, the village was suddenly destroyed. None survived. Ah, and that's why he doesn't want to continue the tradition, because he lost one of his families. No one knows exactly what happened, but those who saw the aftermath said that nothing but scarred and scorched earth remained. A terrible sight. Since that day, Shunei ceased to travel. For 50 years, he's lived in this city, all alone. So she literally wants him to go and get laid. Okay. 50 years? That means... How many winters has Shunei seen exactly? He was born shortly after the formation of Tuliolol, so that would make him 80 or so, I suppose? 80? All this time I've been a fool. His nature is so amiable. I thought him to be the same age as I. What, is he only like 20 or something? How could he forgive my utter rudeness, prying into his past without paying him the proper respects? I must apologize to save my honor and my life. You're probably fine, bro. Don't worry about it. Calm down. It can't be that bad. How old are you, Uvlo? He's got to be like 20 or something. I've seen but 32 winters. A babe compared to Shunei. You know that it is a man's duty to pay the utmost respect to his elders. Right. I definitely know all about that. Those who forget this do not live to become an elder themselves. I must make amends with Shunei. You're his sister. Please, tell me what I can give him. I don't think Shunei cares. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But you seem quite insistent, so perhaps something he could sell in his apothecary? A Pelipelu friend of mine told me that in the highlands of Urkopacha, one can find many rare plants and minerals. Flowers that bloom but once in many moons, emerald with enchanting patterns, and more besides. A brilliant idea! I shall depart to Urkopacha at once and collect the finest items I can. Brilliant! I must request your aid. Although the burden of shame is solely mine to bear, I fear that I alone cannot gather enough items to make up for the magnitude of my disrespect. I really don't think he cares. Will you agree? Please, you would be my savior. Again, you're fine, bro. Thank you, Brilliant. I shall leave at once. Let us meet again at the apothecary to deliver my offering. Okay. Let's go gather. Well, first, like I can't say her name right, whatever. The enthusiasm of youth. Uvlo may be treating this more seriously than he needs to, but perhaps that energy may rub off on Shunei. Well, that's for sure. Maybe that'll be a good thing. Anyway, let's see, where do we need to go? All the way over there. How nice. I think technically it would be fast for me to go out on Tuliolol. So let's go ahead and take the exit that's right over here. Oh, that was a long fall. And then fly on over there. I think you need to talk to the alpaca handler, which is kind of weird that he's inside the gate here. Yep, Urkopacha. Yeah, so this is maybe technically closer. Anyway, it's gonna take us a minute to get over there. So, I guess see you in a bit. Gotta go all the way over to where Corridor door. Yeah. I wonder if this one's gonna be a little bit harder to collect. Because the other ones were just normal collection points, but this one you only need to collect one of them. Because like the other one, in the crafting ones, they had it where you needed to... When you would do that one, it would be high quality, and you had to do it at high quality, and it was maybe a slightly harder craft. I honestly don't remember already. See, this is the entrance, right? Yeah, I'll just pass through there. Instead of flying on over the hill. Okay, closest one seems to be over here. Now, it says I just need one, so there's probably going to be another collectible. Let's see how difficult it is to get. Yeah, rare. Oh, okay, I guess that's the... Oh, okay. I guess that works. I thought it would be a collectible. Oh, I guess it was rare, so it doesn't always appear. Well, then you can just use Luck of the Pioneer, or whatever the mining equivalent is. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn this in. Uvlo, please. Uvlo, stand up. Please deliver the rest of my offering to Master Shuni. I would do it myself, but I must stay in this position as a form of repentance. It's a custom I learned in the Far East, and I've yet to find a better way to express the shame in one's heart. Uvlo, he doesn't care. Welcome back, Brilliant. Uvlo told me about everything. Most emphatically, I might add. That's for sure. There's much I would say on the matter, but as I'm taken to understand that you've brought me a gift, I would happily receive it from you first. Yep, here's your precious material. My word! Uvlo's gift alone left me speechless. This is surely more than I deserved. Materials of this quality can only be gathered by truly skilled hands. I'm grateful, you can be sure. Uvlo, please, he doesn't care. Also, please stand up. This is a bit weird. All is forgiven, Uvlo. In fact, there's nothing for me to forgive. As Uapyo told you, my people live with their mothers until they come of age. From her, they learn all the skills and knowledge they need to flourish, without any strict hierarchy among the men. While I appreciate your gesture, I would be much obliged if you would continue on as we have been, and please stand up. I will... As you wish, Master Shuni. I'm glad we've reached an understanding. Now, let's get back to work, shall we? Before that, regardless of whether or not I owe you respect, I still pried into your past only to sate my own curiosity. And for that, I'm deeply sorry. I mean, that's worthy of apologizing for. There's no need. It wasn't as if I meant to keep it a secret. So let me clear the air. What Uapyo told you was true. My travels ended 50 years ago, after I lost my family. To us, death isn't something meant to be mourned. It's merely another part of the cycle of life. I should have carried on, and found a new family in a new village. But I couldn't. Not while the cause of my family's death remained a mystery, so are we gonna figure that out? Do you truly know nothing? The complete destruction of a settlement, even a small one, surely would not have gone unnoticed. I think you underestimate how small. You can count the number of houses on one hand. To reach the nearest proper village, we had to traverse 2 towering mountains. Few could have witnessed the incident. The scale of destruction was too great for bandits. Many have suggested that a Troll was to blame. I was lodging in the aforementioned village when the tidings reached me. A few days prior, a streak of light had scarred the sky, so bright that it was clearly visible even in daytime. Okay, I was thinking, this was 80 years ago. I was thinking of something recent that we did, but no, this was 80 years ago. Not 80, 30 years ago. No, he said 50. 50 years ago is what he said. So what event happened then? Was that Valgarbonda? I don't know. Let's see if we get any more insight on it. It disappeared behind the mountain's peak, and soon after the earth trembled. The trees and mountains shook, and wind bore dust through the valleys. That sounds like a meteor. Perhaps magic's called a star down from the heavens. Yeah, I can't think of what this is supposed to be, except unless there's something in the lore with, Yaktel, and how apparently a meteor caused the bottom half to be lower or something. That was the conclusion I reached as well. A meteor from the heavens struck my family's home by pure chance. That seems too convenient. Anyway, it's only a theory. You would think the evidence of such tragedy would be more definitive, but it hasn't quite been that easy. Wait a moment, please. What is this? Stones like this were found scattered about in the ruins, as if the heavens themselves wept to see the devastation. I've taken to calling them azure tears. Having been in this business for so long, I can hazard a guess as to their true nature. And I believe that proof of what befell my family must lie with these fragments. Even so, decisive evidence continues to elude me. Then again, perhaps my desire for answers causes me to see connections where there are none. But even if I wanted to, I can't let it go. Well, that was, depressing. I got a bunch more bun lore, but, like, at what cost? I just like to Ufalo again, then Shuni. I think we got 2 or 3 more after this. I think it's gotta be 2 more after this. No, that was the that was the level 95 one, so we got, 3 more to go. No, we got 2 more to go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because we just turned in the precious material here. Okay, let's go ahead and talk to Ufalo and then Shuni. I shall do my utmost under Master Shuni's employ. For now, this is all I can do. Alright, Shuni, what's the next task? Digging up the truth. Shuni appears concerned for one of his most diligent employees. Welcome back to my apothecary, Brillian. I always appreciate you stopping by. We're busy as ever, as you can see. Right. Although since we last met, Ufalo has been acting strangely. He brushes off all my attempts to help with work, with singular focus. I think he still believes he crossed a line in asking about my past, and is focusing his efforts more than usual to make up for his perceived affront. All of which is to say, I've no work for you today. Well, clearly that's not the case. Well, if our tasks for the day are done, I think we should try to unravel the nature of these azure tears you found. Okay. Aha! I understand now. You've squared away today's work so quickly because you had hoped to employ Brilliant's energies on the tears. Ufalo, I kind of like the way you think, but I don't think Shuni's gonna appreciate this. Not exactly, yet I admit the thought did occur to me. I found it difficult to think of aught else as of late. Just got a bun boys on the brain. Understandable. What could those stones possibly be? Truth be told, I can scarce imagine how we might prove they are connected to a meteor. As difficult as it is for me to admit, Master Shuni, your theory remains just that. Yet, if we were to find similar crystals at another location where meteors had fallen, what then? Okay, we're gonna head to the upper regions of Urkopacha. Oh no, this is gonna be in Yaktel, so we can get the meteors that fell there and that are in the lower region. Would that not provide sufficient evidence that the two phenomena are related? I don't think you'll find anything. I've asked all who would listen if they've seen anything resembling the tears, but even the most worldly of my connections say that they are quite singular. Perhaps they are the only objects of their kind in this world. In that case, it would be rarer than any precious jewel. Well, you just happen to have a bun boy who is very good with minerals, so I believe your inability to find any information on these gives us all the more reason to look. Brilliant and I have yet to search for them, after all, and you know our skills at finding the rarest of specimens. We can't give up yet. I want to know the truth. Well, we might as well try. Yeah, I want to know the truth. You too? Very well. But I'll only make this imposition on you once. You've done enough for me already. Well, considering the next quest, I see what the item we need to gather for the next quest is. I don't think this is going to be the last time. Now, there are several locations in Troll where meteorites have fallen in the past. The Sexudros crater is purported to be the largest by scholars who study such phenomena. However, over the years, nature has healed the scar left behind. Soil has accumulated and trees have taken root. Now the area is known as Yaktel. Yeah, that's where I figured we were going. But I doubt a little earth and wood can deter you. Somewhere under all that wildlife, you may find material that has lain there since the meteorite struck. If you find something that resembles the tears, then we may be able to solidify a theory of what transpired 50 years ago. We'll know they came from a meteorite, at least. Well then, let us waste no time. Off to Yaktel we go. I'm hunting meteors. Anyway, let's head on out to Yaktel. We'll go ahead and take the Aetherite to teleport out, and then we'll see exactly where we need to go. Let's see, Yaktel. Okay, right over by the... Hey, why would it be in the northern area? Shouldn't it be in the southern area? Eh, whatever. Okay, closest one is right here. Let's go ahead and collect it. Let's see if we can get all 6 in one go again. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I don't need to collect that. Okay. Okay, deep earth fragment. Yeah, the thing is, the fact that they make these 600 makes it just like trivial. I hate when I get a bonus like that. Well, either way, looks like we're gonna get all 6. Alright, that, okay, 3 more makes this 6. Very nice. I say these are very easy, but I forgot that I've got literally have, like, some of the best gear in the game. So, of course, I would hope it's easy. Anyway, let's head on back. So we got one more quest after this one, and then that'll wrap this up. We get to learn, or maybe he'll be able to like be able to get a little bit more closure on his you know, dead family. All right, Shuni, sorry about that. That was a little insensitive. I'm sorry that you got roped into this, but I'm looking forward to seeing what you can find all the same. What we seek is most likely in Yaktel. You'll have to dig deep, but I know you're equal to the task. Of course I am. Okay, so I should have enough room for scripts on this one. No, not quite. Okay, let me go buy like 5 cordials and that should be enough. Or like 5 or 10 high cordials. Because they're literally like 10 scripts each. They're so cheap. And like I don't need the materia, and the materia doesn't even sell that well. I already bought all the folklore books. No, it's in here, that's right. Okay, let's just buy like 10 cordials. That should be enough room. Okay, sorry about the delay, Shuni. Alright, let's give you those materials. Those meteorites. Or deep rock shards, whatever the heck these things are. Amazing! This is plainly composed of materials entirely different to those found on the surface of Yaktel. Much more dense, much older, and shaped so beautifully besides. You've done well, Brillian. With both your and Uvlo's samples, we may be able to reach a conclusion at last. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Did you discover aught? Well, I was able to detect small fragments of a deep blue substance. And when I shined a light on it, its color did indeed resemble the tears. But even so, there wasn't enough. As far as my abilities can discern, there's no way to say for certain that the two substances are one and the same. I see. Well, guess we're gonna have to try again. Yet you admit a possibility that they might be related. These are good tidings. We simply needed to keep digging, and eventually we will find a sample large enough to give us a definite conclusion. I did not expect this journey to be finished after just one outing. I shall return to Yaktel as many times as it takes. Why must you do this to yourself, Uvlo? You needn't feel obliged to help me resolve this personal matter. At the end of the day, it won't teach you any more about the Shitona. Oh, yes it will. You are correct. I admit that digging deep in the soil is not a task that will help my people thrive. Yet, hearing Uapiota speak with such affection about her family, and seeing you suffer so deeply by the loss of your own, I came to a realization. Though you may call yourselves by different names, both of our people cherish family above all. In my village, If my village suffered the same fate as yours, I would not rest until I found the cause. I could not suffer to live with myself otherwise. And I know you feel the same. That is why you still have the tears, even though they hold naught but painful memories. Before you said that your long years running this shop allowed you to guess that the stones were related to your tragedy. But I know that deep down, you started this apothecary because you knew it would bring you closer to an answer. As your employee, it is only meat that I should meat. Why are you using meat there? That I should help to achieve this goal. Okay. I've never heard meat used like that. Allow me to help you, Master Shuni. So reckless you are in your own journey, but so diligent in helping me along in mine. I hope you've at least managed to save a handful of coins since coming here. If you are going forward with this, I must ask that you spare Yaktural future digging. I wouldn't sacrifice the region's natural beauty in my quest, nor damage another's home. There has to be a different way, but I shall require time to find it. When I do, I only ask that you be there to help Brillian. Can I count on you? Well, considering there's one more quest to do, sure. Thank you, truly. I'll have to sell a good portion of my stock to pay back the debt I'll owe you after all is said and done. You pay me in scripts, what are you talking about? Also, you've already paid me. Anyway, looks like we get some more food than I'm ever gonna use. Esteem level increased. Shuni now considers you a glorious gatherer. Shuni is thrilled with your efforts. He now considers you a glorious gatherer. I'll talk to Uvalo and start the last quest. Of course, Master Shuni pays me for my work, although I've little use for money. I tried to give him some of my wages since he is hosting my stay, but he refused. Yeah, that sounds about right. So in exchange for his hospitality, I clean and take care of other household matters. This has allowed him to open shop at the same time each morning, which has garnered much praise from his regular customers. Okay. Alright, Shuni, let's do this last quest. Yep. Wellspring of Tears. Shuni brightens up more than usual at your arrival to his apothecary. You're here just in time, Brillian. I would seek counsel from my best gatherers. Uvlo, a moment if you will. Before we begin, I would once again like to offer my thanks. What you brought back from Yaktel was more than I could have imagined. Even so, our efforts were lacking. We still have yet to identify the origins of the tears. Have you thought about where we might go next? In a manner of speaking, I suppose. But I must warn you, I can't say for certain we'll find anything. Most of my knowledge of the tears comes from stories I've heard from fellow merchants. In fact, it was a merchant from Eek Brox who suggested Yaktel as a place of inquiry, given its history with meteorites. We often exchanged information as well as goods. And although that lead ultimately bore no fruit, looking back, I believe my mistake was relying solely on incomplete information. Did the merchant mislead you? You need a perspective from a mook to complete the whole picture, yeah. I see we're on the same track, Brillian. The merchant in question was a Zabral, and as such may not have been privy to information from Mamook. Although the two tribes are now at peace, their history is one of conflict. Even if the merchant hadn't been one of their ancestral enemies, Mamulja who populate Mamook are known to be wary of outsiders. Well, that's an understatement. I understand times have changed in that respect, but I wonder how realistic it would be to try and seek information in Mamook. I mean, I can go there. You've been there before. Of course. We've been working together for so long. I almost forgot your storied history. Obviously, the right of succession brought you to every corner of Troll. Then I would give you this task, Brillian. Go to Mamook and speak with the people there. Perhaps someone has seen something that resembles the tears. Let me guess, Uvla wants to tag along? You should accompany her. I can manage the shop well enough in your absence. That is kind of you, truly. But if you're even half as good at gathering information as you are at gathering materials, then your talents would be wasted here, well, that's for sure. Because we saw at the very beginning, he talked about how if you just talk to people with enough patience, you can learn anything. Please, go with Brillian. I shall remain here and await your gift of good tidings. You can be sure of it. Then let us depart for Mamook. Alright, let's talk to Shuni and then head on over to Mamook. I know you're traveling quite a distance, but please don't trouble yourselves overmuch for my sake. It would be wonderful if your inquiries bear fruit, but I won't be disappointed if nothing comes of it. I'm happy enough that you're helping me at all. Besides, we're still working on nothing but theories. So please, come back to Tuliolol if the residents of Mamook can't point you in the right direction. Don't go digging around Yaktel aimlessly. If something were to happen to either of you, I would be beside myself with guilt, and I would rather not add to the burden I already bear. How nice. Alright, let's head on out to... Let's go to Yaktel and I'll just teleport to Mamook. Hopefully save maybe a tiny bit of gil. Let's see, Yaktel. And Mamook. Guess there's no real reason to save the gil though with my 100 million. Then again, I did drop like a couple 100,000 on my the material to meld my gear, so anyway, the Uvlo. We are here. I suppose now we split up and speak with whomever we see. I mean, I guess so. You disagree? Ah, yes. Master Shuni did mention the Mumblejai here are wary of outsiders. Right, we're gonna have a better chance of dealing with them than he will. Then take the lead, Brillian. I shall follow and learn, with Endwalker following mechanics. Yep. At least they got rid of the explanation for it, because that was getting really old. Because like every single time they do the Endwalker following mechanics, it would pop up with the explanation for it, but then they added this this explanation thing. So now it doesn't pop up with the tutorial for literally every single time you do it. Of course, they did that a while ago. I'm just pointing it out now. Discuss the Aetheryte. I was taken to understand that Mamook was a rather isolated settlement, yet an Aetheryte stands at its entrance. Good point. Makes me wonder whether one could be built in my village. Ah, 'tis a thought best forgotten. I hear the cost of maintaining an Aetheryte is quite exorbitant. Every day I spend in the other outside world, I realize more and more how it revolves around money. Yes, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and talk to this person first. Looks like they're the first person we can get to, or the closest person that we can get to. Oh, I recognize you. You were with Bako Chacha, weren't you? What business do you have with one such as me? Have you seen a thing that's like a blue crystal? That isn't the aetheryte? Crystallized stone, shaped like a teardrop? I can't say I've seen such a thing. If I had, I'm sure I would have remembered it. Okay, let's go ahead and try this person in here. Looks like they might be inside the building. Yeah, there he is. Hello, Himilja. Himilja. Do you think I remember every single rock I lay eyes on? That's one thing we don't have any storage of around here. Maybe if rocks could fill a hungry belly, I'd pay more attention to them. But they can't, so I don't. Now leave me be. How helpful. It looks like there's a talking point here, but first I'm gonna get this person. So are they inside? No, they're around the corner. Idle Sentry. Can't you see I'm resting? Why are you asking me about crystals? Just take a few steps into the wilderness and you'll practically trip over them. That's true. Eh? What do you mean that's not what you're looking for? And why do you think I care? Yeah, why would he care? Okay, Ufla, what else have we got? Discuss the statues. Oh yeah, these totem things? I cannot say I've ever seen statues quite like this before. I take it these designs are meant to evoke a Momoja head. I mean, I guess. Of course, I understand the design is immortalized. A desire to immortalize one's forebears with stone objects. My people do much the same. Yet to build structures of stones in the middle of such lush forests. No matter how many times I see it, I always find it peculiar. That's interesting. Let's see, is the person in here? Yeah, there he is. Why isn't this an interesting line of inquiry? Yaktel was once rich with ores of all hues, but I've never heard of one shaped like a teardrop. It would take a skilled artisan to make a shape like that. Perhaps if some were applied to the ore right at the moment of crystallization. Perhaps if tears themselves were crystallized. But those are only idle thoughts. Either way, I've never seen such a thing with my own eyes. So what have we learned? Not much of use from where I stand. Brilliant, if you will. I would suggest we approach our questioning from a different angle. If we can say one thing for certain, it's that the stone is rare indeed. So instead of seeking it outright, perhaps we should first seek someone who collects such objects. Okay. Good, then we are decided. Let us not lose heart yet. Okay, looks like there's two more over there. Let's go ahead and mount up since those are a little bit farther away. Guess we could just fly over there too, make it a little quicker. There's the first person. Kindly Hobigo. A gatherer in Mamuk. A friend of mine had a particular knack for it. Every time he came back from a scouting mission, he would have a rare specimen in his hands. It's a nice way to earn some extra coin. He's no longer with us, unfortunately, but his grandson works at Golmajik Grove, and I hear is a deft hand himself. The boy's name was, How useful. Okay, let's go talk to the other person. Attentive Gardener. A collector of rare stones and plants, you say? I'm sure I've heard of at least one. Ah yes, I do recall the young Gosalja mentioning his grandfather had quite the collection. He used to bring back all sorts of bits and bobs back from his reconnoiters. Oops, I admit something. That story sounded very familiar. I believe Gosalja's father may be the very collector we seek. Maybe have been, rather. Still, the obvious course of action is to speak with Gosalja and see if he still possesses any of his grandfather's belongings. Let us just depart to Golmajik Grove. Okay, Golmanji Grove is over here. Oh, there's another talking point here. Let's make sure you get that. Discuss the forest. Elsewhere, we are surrounded by trees of unimaginable height. I feel so small in comparison. The clan of Viera, known as the Rava, who dwell within the Gulmore jungle, would likely be unmoved by such a sight. Instead, their eyes would seek out places where their natural complexion would allow them to blend into the surrounding foliage. By contrast, the Viera of my tribe are more suited to camouflaging themselves among snow-capped mountaintops. Oh, and that's why they have the pale skin. Okay. Still, the fauna of this place does have a unique coloring. Perhaps I could disguise myself if so desire. Would you turn around for a moment, Brilliant? No, I don't think I will. Okay, this is a Golmanji Grove where we can get a bunch of bananas. See if we can find our Obigo, or not, our Mumble Jaw friend. There he is. Gosolja, and he is Hubigo, I think. Yeah, Hubigo, or those are the Hubigo. The blue ones are the other ones. Oh, hello. Did you need something from me? You are Gosolja, yes? Grandson of a renowned collector, as we have heard. I am, and my grandfather was indeed fond of showing off his collection. But how in the world did you know that? Well, you see, some people told us. Well, that explains everything. Still, this is quite an unexpected visit. And we thank you for indulging us. So, did your grandsire's collection contain anything that might resemble the stones we told you about? Yes, your description made me recall one of my favorites, in fact. I'm sad to say I lost it when I was a child, though, but my memory of it is crystal clear. Ha, crystal clear. I see. Unfortunately, a memory is not enough for us to judge whether the two are related. I may know where he found it. As you heard, my grandfather served as a scout when the Mumblejaw and Zabral were at war. He was known as a swimmer without equal and used the Snotays to travel to every corner of the forest unnoticed. Snotays. Those are the springs which dot the forest, correct? Are you saying they connect somehow? Yes. Network of tunnels runs under the earth. One can travel the width and breadth of the forest, if you know where to go, that is. I remember my grandfather said he found the crystal on a mission to Eekbrox. It was lying there on the Sunday floor, as if waiting for him. It's likely he found it in Eekrox solely. Okay, up in the northeast corner. Where the waters once ran red as blood. The Zabral would bury their fallen warriors there, and none expected a scout to be bold enough to trespass. This story has promise. The samples we found before were pulled from deep layers of earth, formed at a time immediately following the meteor's impact. There is no telling how far down those tunnels reach, but doubtless they pass through the same layers. Ah, good point, okay. Naturally, material from these layers would corrode and settle at the bottom of the cenotes. Yes, this has promise indeed. Gosolja, you have given us direction. Thank you, truly. No, thank you for allowing me to remember my grandfather so fondly. May you find that which you seek. Let us make our way to Eekrox Soli, Berlian. That's gonna be a bit of a long flight, but okay. This has been an interesting day, thanks to you. I'll tell my grandfather this story next time I go to pay my respects. Yep. And then the Soli is up on the upper level, of course, because we were talking about it was in the Zabral territory. And then this is the actual lake that they were talking about. Let's head on over to this point. See if we can find one of those crystals, which I know we will, because that's the item that we have to turn in. And I saw it on the quest item. I saw it in the quest summary. I guess a Soli is probably just like a body of water, considering that this cenote seems to have a name, the one that's right there. Ah, I see him there. Okay, Uvlo, are you gonna go for a dip? So this is Ikrok Soli. I find it hard to believe that these waters were once stained red with the blood of war. Luckily, the cenote is now clear, and our vision should be unclouded as we search, or should I say your vision? Excuse me? You mean I'm the one that has to get wet? Or can he not swim? That would make a little more sense. As you know, I was trained among the snowy mountaintops. You can imagine how poorly I might fare in a body of water. I mean, that's an understandable reason. Although it shames me to place this burden on your shoulders, I would rather my soul not join those that were set adrift in the cenote. That is, of course, assuming you possess the skill that I lack. Dude, you went to, or did you go to like the Ruby Sea? Didn't you learn how to breathe underwater? Good. Thank you, Brillian. I have ever been able to depend on you when I find myself wanting. You shall be an example I strive to emulate in my future travels. I shall stay here and await your safe return. Good luck. Okay, well, I guess I gotta go into the water. I guess they didn't want to animate him being underwater, even though they've done that. I think they did that in Stormblood. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a dip. I don't know what he meant by not being clouded, but okay. Okay, this is good. Yeah. Yeah, Azurite fragment. That's what we needed. Or Azure, not Azurite. Only need one of them. Let's head on back. Definitely getting a bit exhausted on this, but I think I lasted a bit better than I did on the other ones. All right, Uvlo, I got the Azure fragment. You made it. You were down there for so long. Right. I began to fear for the worst. You must be half fish for how indefatigable your lungs are. Yeah, about that. So, did you find aught? Yes, I did. To the best of my recollection, this looks almost exactly like the stone Master Shuni had. Its shape. That unmistakable blue. I didn't look like very much of a teardrop, but okay. Oh, that kind of teardrop. It was just upside down. Okay, never mind. We did it, Brillian. It appears our intuition was correct after all. This crystal is a remnant of a grievous wound dealt to the earth. 'Twas the case in ancient times, and 'twas the case 50 years ago. You must return to Master Shuni with haste. And he's gone. Well, let's go ahead and teleport back. And wrap this up. Nice that we can see him get some closure, and we got a lot of bun lore. Both for in Troll and in what's the other place? In Eorzea. Well, it's technically not Eorzea. But you get the idea. Alright, Uvlo, Shuni. Let's like to Uvlo first, and then we'll wrap this one up. Let fortune smile upon us at last. I've never seen you two so excited to bring me a delivery. I take it something good is in store. Yep. Take a look at this. Where did you... Did you really find this in Yaktel? But how? You dived to the bottom of a cenote? But the waters are so cold, and the caves are so labyrinthine. Not to mention, a single misplaced stroke could cloud your vision with sediment. Yeah, well, I can literally breathe underwater, so it's not really much of a problem for me. Even so, here you are before me, and I'm more grateful for that than anything else. Shune's apothecary could ask for none more skilled, none more brave than you two. I'll start examining this right away. Soon we'll have our answers. You found the impossible. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, that this fragment is made of the very same material as the azure tears I found in my ruined home. Have we proven your theory? As to the true nature of these stones, and how your village met its fate, I'm now certain that these stones formed much in the same way as obsidian does near volcanoes. When minerals are melted by extreme heat, they cool into glassy lumps. In this case, when the meteor struck, the heat must have not only melted the earth, but sent it flying into the heavens. In the air, it cooled into the shape of wilted petals, the shape of tears. But they hold something else as well. What, actual tears? Meteorite brought instantaneous destruction to the area of its impact. All the plants, animals, and people gone. Their life force scattered into the air. Oh, does this have the aether? That would be interesting. I see. It is ether which sleeps in these stones. When that energy fails to return to the life stream, it crystallizes. Just so. I believe these are more than lumps of glass. The blue light is the shining essence of all that was taken from me. For 50 years I searched, and for 50 years I knew one thing. That answers would never bring them back. And I knew that even if I proved the cause of my tragedy, that revelation would bring no comfort. Even so, the land of Troll wept for that day, for all that was lost in an instant. Now that I know that, I can move beyond my sorrow. I can remember my family as they were. Their smiles, those bright days we shared, our happiness. Thank you, you two. I feel as if a great weight has been lifted from my shoulders. So now you're gonna go get laid? Within nature's grand cycle of life. Nature's grand cycle, the life I lived back then shall remain a shining beacon. Bacon. I knew you had not strayed far from your roots. We simply had to help you dig them up again. Usually you don't dig up the roots. It may soon be time to depart upon another journey, the first in a long while. Not to find a new family, per se, but to attune myself to nature's rhythm once again. You have brought to me pieces of much greater whole than I would rejoin. I shall let the wind's breath carry me where it will, and so long as the boundless horizon is before me, I shall walk. A worthy goal. Stoic nod. Well, that was interesting. A little bit more depressing than I was expecting, but we also got a lot of bun lore. Talk to Uvlo and then Shuni and wrap this up. I would like to think that I comported myself well at this apothecary. In doing so, I succeeded in fulfilling both my responsibility to my people and also my obligation to Master Shuni as a friend. Although you may tire of my praise, I'd like to express my thanks to both of you once more. You would have been exceptional help if you did nothing more than gather what I asked, but you went far beyond that, well, that's for sure. Likewise, I learned more about the Shitona than I could have hoped. Yet my own quest is far from over. I would take this opportunity to go out into Tyrol and experience all it has to offer, the culture of the Shitona included. So if indeed you plan on leaving this city, I ask that you allow me to join you. I figured that's how this was gonna go. Besides, a journey is only as good as your companions, or so they say. Do you have room for another? Why limit yourself just to Tyrol? That's much better. You pose an interesting question. I can't say I had a particular destination in mind. A trip across the salt would be as good as any. Perhaps I might find someone to guide me across the world's breadth in exchange for a ramble around Tyrol. Does anyone suitable spring to mind? Try looking to your right. Okay, he was just joking, okay. Either way, these are decisions to be made in the future. For now, I don't intend to close up shop. Yeah, there's still gonna be one more quest. In 7.1, I think it is. Truly. Regardless of my reasons for starting this apothecary, I've become quite fond of it. To say nothing of my loyal customers, abandoning them without notice would be unseemly. And besides, how long do you believe you can travel with such light coin purse, Uvlo? Sleeping under the stars and foraging for your own food will only take you so far. Soon you'll be penniless, and Tyrol's less hospitable climes might be very well take you. I can... You can stay here and earn a bit more coin before our trek. I would be a terrible owner if I let one of my best workers be so reckless. So, for a while at least, let's continue on as we have been. There's so much more to be done, after all. Like you. I mean, what? Yep, that's all. Let's see. I'm guessing, let's see, this is 9. So I think perception would be the most useful for someone. I mean, I'm just gonna end up selling this anyway, but... Esteemed contributor. You have completed all of Shuni's tasks. He now considers you a genius gatherer. Of course, that's what I was at the beginning. Shuni is ready to manage the apothecary with a new insight to guide him. He now considers you a genius gatherer. Right now, let's Wachumeqimeqi, with your aid and urgent, speak to others, the merchants would like to help. Yep. We'll do that another day. Let's go ahead and talk to each of them first, and then we'll wrap, and that'll be all for today. Welcome, Brilliant. You'll be glad to hear business is brisk, in no small part thanks to your efforts. As for our journey, well, Uvlo is still gathering the funds. I offered to cover our travel expenses, but he is loath to be in debt to an elder. That sounds about right. It's been 50 years since I've left this city, so I've no issue with staying here a little while longer. While Uvlo readies his funds, I shall take my time preparing the shop and myself for the journey ahead. Right, Uvlo? There are no deliveries to be made today, it seems. Still, the shop must be cleaned and customers must be tended to. Must admit, I can't count dealing with customers among my skills. I would rather stick to the tasks which I can complete with my hands. But Master Shuni was more insistent I get out there and smile, as he put it. He said friendly faces attract new customers. I think it shall be a while yet until I understand the subtleties of running a business in such a large city. Yep, well, I mean, I hope I get to see more about your relationship between you two. But that's gonna be all for today. Let's go ahead and head back over to the chair. Have a seat and wrap things up. Oh, that's not sit. Well, I feel a bit more, I don't feel quite as exhausted as some of the other times. But, I think that was still the longest one so far. It was like 2 hours and ended up being just over 2 hours. I guess just under 2 hours. Anyway, that's gonna be all for today. We still got one more delivery quest to do, and I'll probably just end up doing that again next week. The fishing one is gonna be slightly more annoying if it's gonna be the same as Endwalker, because I have to go in and get the 5 fish, which could take anywhere between like 2 to 7 minutes each at each fishing hole. But I'll make sure to look ahead and see like if I need to get any specific bait, because I believe I needed to actually have the right bait in Endwalker, so I'll need to make sure to look at that up. But anyway, that's gonna be all for today, and until next time, goodbye.